Hey, good morning. Welcome in. Now's the time to schedule a private tour of Madison Ridgeland Academy. Call 601-856-4455. You can see all the academics, athletics, meet the teachers, faculty, leadership, coaches. Schedule a private tour of Madison Ridgeland Academy's campus today, 601-856-4455. Record enrollment. Some of the classes are full, so you may want to go ahead. If you got a little person, may want to go ahead and check that out just to, see what you want to do. But some of the grades are have a waiting list. MRA, 601-856-4455. Out of bounds, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. We're going to have a special guest in studio here in just a second. We had Keith Carter, athletic director at Ole Miss, joined us in the first hour. And Jeff Duncan just wrote a book on Peyton and Breeze, the men who built the greatest offense in NFL history. And he is sending us a couple of signed copies to give away to our awesome listeners. So he got to sit down one-on-one several times with Sean Payton and Drew Brees and talk about what made the New Orleans Saints tick. You're talking about two alpha males who were able to operate successfully at a high level for 15 years. That's impressive. And gave us a bunch of great moments on Sundays and in the Super Bowl and in the playoffs. So Jeff Duncan, at @JeffDuncan_ on Twitter, has a new book out, Peyton and Breeze, the men who built the greatest offense in NFL history. Let me check my text, see if what he said on this. I asked him to come in studio for a book signing. He said yes, Blake Mania. How about that? Jeff Duncan will come in studio with some books, and he'll sign some for some of our Houdat Nation.
That's right. I'll even buy a book just so I can see how the empire crumbled.
Will you stop? Stop taking shots at the Saints. I'm trying to have fun here. By the way, for our listeners, Blake Scott is a Dallas Cowboys fan, which
Go
I'm
boys.
okay with.
Hey.
Dak Prescott.
It's America's team.
It is America's team. People love to hate them or love to love them.
They do.
I love him right now because of Dak. After he's gone, I'll move on. But I was hoping he would go to New Orleans, but money-wise, it's not going to happen. That would have been dangerous.
He's got to win a
Dak and
Super
Sean
Bowl
together.
He's going to win a Super Bowl in Dallas first, then he can do whatever he wants.
Okay. I hope you're right.
It's coming.
I hope you're right. I doubt it. Jerry Jones has proven
Hey, we'll
that,
be the first team to go 17-0 in the regular season. It is what it is.
with the new game.
That's right, baby.
For our listeners, if you didn't see this, we get another NFL game this year.
Yeah, Dallas pulls the Patriots.
I'm not sure
they're
I'm happy,
17.
but even though the Patriots are down, Dallas finished third in their division, and the Patriots finished third in their division, so they match up in the 17th game that Blake is referencing. Do you know if that's in Dallas or New England?
I think it's New England, but I'd have to confirm.
Even worse.
That. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I can just see them dropping that in December, and it'll be like 5 degrees and 18 inches of snow.
Yeehaw.
And Dak's up there trying to throw passes.
30-mile-per-hour northern wind. Yeah.
Goodness gracious. All right, let's switch gears here. Out of bounds, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. We want to welcome in our friend Todd Sandridge with Crosstown Builders and Superior Foundation. And Todd, welcome back into the studio, my
Thank
friend.
you.
How are you?
I'm good. Y'all are getting me depressed talking about Drew Brees gone, and it's raining outside.
Is it raining?
Yeah, it is. It's raining hard.
I hadn't even looked outside in the last
nasty.
few hours. I hope that gets in here and gets out of here.
Hope it gets out quick. Yep.
Yeah, I know you do. You and Trey have jobs going on all over the
We do.
metro area. Before I get into foundation, talk about, we haven't had you on because it's really nice. I did a show from there. Talk about the press box that you built at MRA's, that you and Trey and your team built at MRA's field.
That was a lot of fun. It was neat because, I played sports, but I never spent time in a press box.
Right.
So it was pretty fun to got with the associate athletic director, Ross Haley, and, we went around and looked at a couple people's press box and find out what they liked about it, what they didn't like about it. And, line of sight was always a big deal. It was really neat. Used a lot of commercial glass. Had to get airport authority to okay it because it was going to be really big and really tall, and it's right
I
there
didn't
by
even
that
think
Madison
about
Airport.
that.
Yeah, so 43 feet high, which was our limit. That's how we had to cap it, and so 2-story, but we needed to be tall enough. But it's neat, I think it really, from Old Canton Road is pretty awesome site.
It looks
too.
great.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I picked up on. You made a great point. When I did a remote there last year, a couple of things. You've got the 2 broadcast teams every Friday night in there,
Right.
MRA and whoever they're playing.
Right.
And then you just mentioned something about line of sight, so they need to be able to see.
That's right.
And then 2, you got 2 coaching staffs in there.
That's
you
right.
may have 2 coaches from each team, just kind of depending on how they want to run the numbers.
Correct.
So that had to be a big piece of the puzzle as y'all were planning.
That's right. The coaches are on the top floor, so they've got to see total field.
Yeah.
In the middle on the top floor is the media. Center where all the cameras. It's got a roll-up garage door, all of that, and then on the bottom floor you've got radio from both schools.
Yeah.
And
Plenty of room now to
plenty
move
of room.
around.
Yeah, and then you've got the PA announcers and all of that in the middle and the downstairs. So yeah, there's a ton of room, and the dividers are actually glass walls. So
Right.
That's cool. Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have that in
Yeah.
high school press
Yeah.
boxes. The coaches can actually hear what the other coaches are doing.
Not necessarily hear it, but they can probably see when they get excited.
Right.
But it is relatively soundproof. But the cool thing is the walls don't impede the view all the way through, and that was one of the things we found. When we went to other schools, was those walls you can't see. If you're on the right side, you can't see a touchdown on the left side, for example.
Right.
Yeah.
Todd Sandridge on the Out of Bounds
Yeah.
Show, Crosstown Builders, Superior Foundation. He joins us on the Modelo guest line. One more project I want to hit before we get into foundation repairs.
Yeah.
Rick's Pro Truck
Yeah.
in Gluckstadt.
Man, yeah.
That turned out to be a really, really, it's got a cool look and feel. Rick and Justin needed a more wide open retail space, and I like it. It's really cool what y'all did.
And thank you. That was a fun job. The idea to kind of bring an industrial look with maybe some rustic elements to it. Of course, the county of Madison, they're wanting something other than metal buildings and things like that.
Sure.
And so a lot of fun. Rick and Justin are awesome people. It's a great company. The products they sell, they want them to be able to display, cool waiting areas for people to go in. And because, it takes a minute to get a bed liner put on or tires and all that. So it was a lot of fun to research that. And they're good people. They're a good family.
Yeah, it is another great Mississippi company. Yeah, so I took my son in there a couple of months ago. He just got a Tahoe, and he got a lift on it, and tires and wheels and running boards. And you would have thought that I took him to Disney World.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was like, he just, he kind of roamed around the space for 15 minutes, just taking it all in.
It's a 16-year-old's dream.
Yes,
Or a 40-something-year-old's dream.
that's true. That's right.
I can have a lot of fun in there, too.
No question.
Yeah.
Well, how you been?
Good, man. Good. We are just busy, even though weather's been crazy from a lot of rain, ice storms, and but it's been a good year. We've been blessed.
Let's talk Superior Foundation.
Yeah.
So I've told you this story. I grew up in Belhaven.
Yep.
All right, and that's a tough. It's a beautiful neighborhood, but there's a lot of hills and a lot of craziness in Yazoo Clay.
Yep.
People out here in Madison County and Rankin County experience it too. That's why you and Trey decided to open up Superior Foundation 7, 8, 9 years ago.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, because you know about the demand.
Yep.
Walk us through when somebody calls you
Yep.
and says, "I have really, really challenging, bad foundation issues."
So, Belhaven's a good point. I'll give you a good example. About a month ago, Pam Pybus, which is a home inspector here in town, inspected like a girl, great company. She called and said, "Hey, I've got a problem. It's a 100-year-old house, conventional foundation." And for those of you, who don't really know what a conventional, a lot of our houses are sitting on monolithic slabs, right? But you might remember your grandmother's house, with the crawl space under. We don't do it that much anymore, but Fondren and Belhaven area, there's a lot of
We
them.
had conventional.
Yeah. So sometimes they're easier to work on, but sometimes they're not, right? So because you got the component of rotten wood along with footings that are deteriorated. So this particular house was over 100 years old. We went in, not only did we have to lift it a little bit under the footings, but we also had to, the sill plates were rotten and some things like that, just typical age, right? But a lot of those houses, people don't understand the water gets up under them. And so then you've got sitting water, you've got mold issues, you've got, so it creates a lot of havoc for the foundation other than just a slab, right? But, I've said it a million times, and I'll say it till the day I die. It's always water. So, a lot of the times, even with conventional, we're trying to remediate the water, get it out of there, whether we put a sump pump in there, a drainage system under the house or something like that. So, we do a lot of work on conventional foundations, a lot of work on slabs, and right now, as today's weather dictates, a lot of drainage.
I can't imagine. Todd Sandridge with Superior Foundation on the Out of Bounds Show. All right, so talk about the approach of someone's foundation compared to just 10, 15, 20 years ago, and what you can do.
So, I mean, the neat thing is, obviously, from a preventative standpoint, we can go in and we can put helical piers in, and we can prevent that house from falling. We take those down to the blue clay, which in Mississippi, we don't have bedrock. That's our load-bearing strata here in Mississippi. We got a brand new product I'll discuss with you coming out in about 30 days, and I'm super excited. Just a little teaser there. That'll also be a good preventative maintenance product. But, when people call our office, a lot of times they're, a little anxious, wondering what's going on. They see cracks and, pretty good size investment. So with us, our first thing is just to put them at ease and go, hey, it's no big deal. Let us come out. What we do is, it takes about 45 minutes. We go out, we measure the elevation of the house. We kind of determine what the problem is, take a look at the topography, the elevation on the outside. And so the evaluation really takes about 45 minutes, an hour tops. And at that point, we can kind of give them an idea of how we
come up with a game plan.
Yeah, it's always a solution. There's never not a solution. And most of the time, it's usually less expensive than people think that it's going to be. There are, some folks in the business that can, use fear to charge people a lot of money and things like that. And the biggest thing, and the thing I'm most proud about, our company and our staff is just, the integrity to go in there and go, hey, we're going to fix what needs to be fixed,
Right. Todd Sandridge, Trey Pace, Superior Foundation. Todd joins us in the Bank Plus studio. You're listening Out of Bounds, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. All right, walk me through what y'all do. Y'all build a lot of new construction.
We do.
Like when you built my boathouse.
Yep.
All right, so walk me through the approach there on the Superior Foundation side.
So when we take a look at new construction, the first thing is you got to figure out where that unweathered clay is, that blue clay I was talking about. So once you determine where that is, then we know how far we have to go down with these helical piers. Obviously, most people's mindset is site prep, right? Dirt work. How much dirt work do I have? A lot of times I was talking to a good friend of mine last night about prepping a site, and it's actually level, but the dirt's not good. So, do we do $50,000 in site prep and dirt work and dig out and disturb soil, or do we do, equal amount of helical piers, and you've got a warranty, and that house will never fall. So a lot of times it can be, a push,
Right.
So with those things, we actually just evaluate the dirt. We, Geotech always, does those evaluations. They actually core drill that. And sometimes, it's important not to wait too late. We're looking at a hotel right here in the metro area. And unfortunately, they didn't do that up front.
Right.
And so now what we've got to do is go in and find a solution. And as you can imagine, Bo, that solution is a lot more expensive than had we done that up front.
Right.
And it can, same can on any residential property as well. So I think it's important, and the thing is we look at it for free. So we'll take a look at your plans. We'll look at your foundation plan. We'll look at the dirt, and we'll do all that for free, and we'll determine if that's the best, solution.
Do you think people will gravitate more towards this in the future?
I do. I think if you understand the soil patterns of Mississippi, if you understand the geological patterns and the clay, and the fact that we just have clay. Some of it's unweathered, but the majority of it's weather clay, and that means it expands when it gets wet, it contracts when it gets dry, and as it contracts, there's a void there, and that's the problem. That is the problem. I just got back from Dallas over spring break. We had to go to a funeral, and I spoke to some contractors out there. Met with one on a Monday when I was out there, and interesting thing is they don't have what we call Yazoo clay, but the PI index is the same of their clay. Dallas market is the exact same thing, and they're a little bit ahead of us when it comes to maybe being a little smarter, getting out up front on it, doing those things before you put the slab in or before you put a foundation in. But yes, I think here in the Jackson metro area, it's going to become something you almost have to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Todd Sandridge, Superior Foundation and Crosstown Builders on the Out of Bounds show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. And so in the next month or so, we'll let our listeners know about what y'all will be bringing to the market in about 4 to 6 weeks.
And we're going to do it here first. So it's going to be exciting. Our whole staff's excited. And it's a product that goes along with those helical piers and is a preventative maintenance product, super cost effective too.
Helical.
Yeah.
All right, how many times have y'all used that? How many times have y'all done that in the last 4, 5, 6 years?
3 times this week.
Okay.
Yeah, we're doing a school in the Delta next week, along with a residential property here in Madison, and we've also got a renovation product or project in Eastover. Now, I say next week. This rain is probably going to kill us, so those are all on schedule. So,
right.
Even a renovation on a house in Eastover that's probably 75 years old, they're adding an addition to it. Well, it's already on bad soil. We've already had to repair some things, but now what we can do is we can put the helical piers in on the renovation on the addition side and make sure that it's good. And we, a big robust drain along one side. So doing the preventative maintenance we need up front, and they won't have to call us to repair it in the future.
Nice.
Yeah. And same with the school.
See, they never figured it out when I lived in Belhaven.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, we lived there from 1980 to 1993. Not that they weren't good guys, but they just come in and bang under the house.
Yeah.
But it never got fixed.
And with conventional foundations, and I encourage anybody that's got one, a lot of people, they call foundation companies, they don't like working on them. And I'm not sure, Bo, honestly, that they know how to. I think because of our combined construction experience along with our foundation repair experience, we're pretty good at them. And it's not just a lift and shim type deal. I mean, you got to really make sure that you're doing the right thing and checking for rotten wood and those type of things. Those joists, those old joists, you remember how your grandmother's floor kind of used to sway a little bit? I mean, that lumber is kind of like us. It gives a little over time. So
no kidding.
Yeah.
All right, so Todd Sandridge, Superior Foundation on the Out of Bounds show. All right, now we've got some hard-hitting questions for you, Todd. It's National Tater Day. So we were talking about French fries and potato chips.
I heard that.
French fries, you like them?
Love them. Try not to eat them.
I know, man. I'm the same way.
Man, I'm getting older, and I'm just trying to be good. My wife loves them. I love them, but try to use them as a treat.
I try to bake them in the oven now more than getting the ones that are dropped in the delicious grease or olive oil that we all love.
My buddy Lance got this new air fryer. So
we did too a couple months ago.
Y'all got one? Yeah.
Do you have one?
No, but it was pretty good. He almost talked me into it.
Okay. I wasn't sure when Wendy got it.
Yep.
And I've done wings. I've done French fries. We've done several other things in there, and I think it's the coolest thing.
So he did wontons.
Ooh, I love wontons.
Man, we had to think about that. Little crab meat.
Blake,
and
that's you, man.
Do you think you could fold a wonton, Beth?
Probably not.
No. I could eat about 30 of them.
I could too.
They were
so
phenomenal.
good.
My 13-year-old daughter wore them out and has begged for them. So we may have to get an air fryer just for the wontons.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right, potato chips. Regular. So we were going over Lay's, which are terrible for you but delicious.
Yep.
Doritos. What was the other one that you threw out?
Well, I threw out like what flavor. So like Lay's obviously makes a bunch, but like sour cream and onion, barbecue.
See, I like those. I'm kind of with you, Bo. They're a little greasy. I do like the sour cream and onion. I heard y'all say the Zaps.
Yeah,
those were good.
Love the Zaps.
I would say the ones that are bad for you, I'd have to go with Fritos, man.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm a big salt and vinegar guy.
Yep.
Salt and vinegar chips. Love those.
What's the other one that's sea salt chips or something in the grocery store?
Vicky's.
Yes.
It's Miss Vicky's or
That's
whatever.
what it is.
They're like kettle chips.
Kettle
chips.
Kettle
That's
chips.
what I was trying to come up with.
Yeah.
That's kind of where we're going in the more quote unquote healthy.
Yeah.
But
It's
I mean,
still
if I was
covered in-
going unhealthy, I got to go with the Fritos.
Yeah. Barbecue Fritos are my favorite. And they did away with them. They went barbecue
Did they?
chili.
Okay.
Yeah, chili cheese or
Yeah.
Chili cheese Fritos.
And I thought I read where they were going to bring them back, and I don't know if there was a timestamp on them.
Interesting.
But when I was growing up, it was barbecue Fritos.
Yeah.
That was That's a go-to.
Are you
Now,
a
I love Fritos and bean dip
Yes.
together.
Yes. Or like the Frito pie, which is basically
Yep.
bean dip on top
Yes.
of Frito. You know, I mean, it's like a version of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good
Absolutely.
one. That's a
Throw
southern
them in
tradition.
chili, man.
Yeah.
They're good.
Our guy Jason likes to do some debris fries at
Yep.
Georgia Blue.
Yep. Oh yeah.
You can't beat whether it's pulled pork or something else on there,
Potatoes are where
nachos.
it's at, man.
and then a baked potato.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker. I do baked potatoes a lot.
Growing up, like that was like a weekly, like
Yes.
my group of friends, we would go to McAllister's and because you could get, it was like $8 for a potato the size of your thigh. You
Sure.
know? Yeah, as a high schooler, you're like, hey, I'll take I'll take a big old potato that fills you up as opposed to like something that doesn't. So yeah,
Yeah, it's about quantity, not quality
exactly,
in high school.
exactly.
No
But
doubt.
dude, I did a shrimp. I sauteed shrimp in ecstasy and money honey, and then did it over a potato with like bacon and cheese and stuff like that.
Okay, that sounds
a
amazing.
few weeks ago. That was a baked potato that I had.
Ooh.
Little shrimp, loaded shrimp.
I'll
baked
tell you
potato.
who did a great baked potato. Cappy's Steakhouse in Starkville.
Ah, Cappy's.
Yeah,
Haven't heard that name
it's
in a while.
now the Breakfast Club.
Yes.
But he still does steaks, I think, on Friday night.
Okay.
But it was something about their baked potatoes in that oven that they
I
had.
have to find a baked potato around here. I don't know when the last time I got a baked potato not made by myself at home was.
I don't do that much at restaurants.
Yeah, it's not my go-to at a restaurant.
No. All right, what are we looking at, Blake?
2.
Okay, so we're wrapping it up. Out of Bounds, ESPN 105.9 The Zone, brought to you by Superior Foundation. Todd, where do they need to go to find? I mean, superior.ms.
Yeah, superior.ms or call our office 601-941-2125.
And to come out, it doesn't like if somebody's listening right now
Yep.
and they're looking at some issues
Yep.
with their house.
Yep.
You just come out and assess and give them a plan.
Yep.
Or we'll tie it into sports. a game
Completely
plan.
complimentary. Yep.
Okay.
We'll just come out. We'll measure it. We'll give them an idea of what it is. We'll assess the situation, give them a solution, but no strings attached, man. Yeah.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, Bo. Appreciate it. Thanks, Blake.
Todd Sandridge, Trey Pace, Crosstown Builders, and Superior Foundation. And, of course, they built that MRA press box. I never thought about Todd and Trey having to work with the airport, but that makes sense when it's 43 feet high and the Madison Airport is right across the street on Old Kent Road. Turned out great, though. We did a show there last year, and I know how much the broadcasting teams and the staffs, both MRA and who they're hosting, have enjoyed that state-of-the-art press box built by Crosstown Builders. Superior Foundation, superior.ms. If you missed any of the show, go to Apple Podcast, search the Out of Bounds Show. Keith Carter, athletic director at Ole Miss, was fantastic. About 20 minutes on Ole Miss football, SEC scheduling, all that. Jeff Duncan just wrote a book, Peyton and Breeze, the men who built the greatest offense in NFL history. And we're going to have some signed copies by next week to give away to our listeners. Jeff Duncan, Times-Picayune, Saints Insider, now with The Athletic, wrote a book, Peyton and Breeze, the men who built the greatest offense in NFL history. Also, if you missed any of the video webcast of the show, go to Facebook. Search the Out of Bounds Show. Thanks for listening to Out of Bounds, ESPN 105.9 The Zone, brought to you by Ace Bolt and Screw, powered by DeWalt Tools. We'll see you tomorrow.